Alright, now that I got in to here, but I'm not attached from this piece here to the fascia, this is just sitting here loose. I want to get this attached all the way down. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use a pilot drill bit recess tool here. Go in about yay. And then I'm going to drive in a screw, a 3-inch screw. In this case it's a drywall screw because I don't have any other screws with me right now. I want to make sure I don't punch through the fascia. Okay. And I'm just checking the other side. No, I did not punch through. Everything's good. And I'm going to put caulking on this so that won't be exposed to the elements at all. I'm going to pretty much do the same technique all the way down and get that, and then I can finish nailing up the front of the fascia. So that is where I'm at right now. Okay, the entire bottom of the wood is all screwed in all the way across. So all that is done. Now that that is done and I'm completely secured from here to the fascia, that's solid. Now I'm going to go and focus on the front side. And now that now that that's secure, I'm going to secure the front of this plywood in and send everything home. I got a nail set, so I'll make sure I can send everything home as well. Alright, now we've got this whole thing secured to the fascia. Now we want to put an end plate on the end. Alright, I got a plate here. I just need to determine, do I want to go this way? Do I want to go this way? Do I want to go this way? What do I want? So, there's a knot right there. There's no knot here. This side looks pretty good. So I'm thinking that what I'm going to do is go up like this. This is going to be the outside piece. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to come up tight this way. And I'm going to hold that. And I'm going to use my pencil. And I'm going to mark the other side. Now I know where my cuts are going to be. And then this piece will go right up here and nail in. So I'm going to go take this to my chop saw and get this piece cut up right now. Alright, now that all the wood is completely secured, screwed, nailed into the fascia, everything is solid, I want to get it ready for paint. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tool right here, which is not exactly the proper tool, but it's fast and it'll get the job done. It's just a 4-inch angle grinder with a sanding disc on it. Now this particular disc I've been using throughout the project, so it's kind of worn. If I have to, I'll go get another one. It's not even the right tool for the project, but like I said, it'll get it done. I don't have a proper sanding tool for this, and I'm certainly not going to do it by hand. So right now I'm just going to rip with this tool, see if it works well. If otherwise, I'll change out the blade and get this all sanded down and ready for paint. Alright, so there you go. Pretty much you saw me do this section right here, and I'm just going to continue that same technique and finish this thing off to get it ready for paint. So here's a seam that you can see it's got a big lip on it. When I get the sander over here, I'm going to flatten this all out so that this all will blend in really nicely. You can see how I did that technique over here on this right here, and I got this seam here really nice, and this one here. So once I caulk and paint this will all blend in perfect. You won't see a thing. So anyways, I'm just gonna, rather than be on camera, I'm just gonna take this off camera, finish this off right now. Alright, so the whole new fascia element here has been sanded down, and it's ready for the next step in the process. And what that is I'm going to use caulking, and here it is right here, which is just basically a paintable caulking. It's like $3.67 at the Home Depot, paintable in 20 minutes. Okay, so now, alright, so I'm basically going to start at a top-down approach. So you see that gap right there? Let me show you how I'm going to address this. So I'm going to take my caulking, put it up here, get it in here. And the reason why I want to put it up here is because I want to be able to wash this down with the garden hose, and I don't want water going on top of the wood or in this cavity. Alright. So this is just going to be an example of how I'm going to do this whole thing. But basically you saw that. I'm up in there, and now I'm just going to tool this in. And I got some gaps, so let me put a little bit more in there. So that's going to completely protect. There we go. And you see how well that is? I'm completely protected there on the top of that. And that is what I'm after. I'm after getting that protection. And then on all these screw nail holes, basically, I'm going to go ahead and get those at the same time. Just like that. So I'm going to go through here and go like that. Also, this seam here, I'm going to make sure that that seam or any seams like that are completely sealed up. Alright, so that's a pretty good example of how I'm going to do that. Plus on the out here in the general field, if I see anything that looks a little weird, I'll just go ahead and put that on there as well. But pretty much that's the process that I'm going to be doing right there. Alright, so this is from the front side here. So basically, there's your detail. I got it up there underneath the drip edge. I got it under there real well. You can see where I stopped, but I'm going to continue that process all the way down the entire length of this. I'm just showing you this as an example. I'm also going to fill in this hole right here and this right here. Let me do that right now. Alright, here's the final product. Paint ready. I had extra, I was on my last tube of caulking, so what I ended up doing was I ended up just kind of taking caulking, putting it over here and just kind of skim coating it, because it's like extra protection for the wood, because wood rots. The caulking is going to last longer, be a better penetrant. This is going to have one coat of primer, 2 coats of paint anyways. This is all going to be buried. You're not going to see any of this. So as long as I had some extra, I used a putty knife, a sponge, I got a bucket of water here. Well, so those are the tools that I needed in order to get it to this stage. So right now it's paint ready. So now first thing we want to do is get some primer on. Alright, so for the primer I've got Kilt's Latex number 2. For the paint it's going to be Bare Exterior Semi-Gloss Pure White. Bare Premium Plus Ultra. And so it's 1 coat of this, 2 coats of that, 3 coats in total. For the paintbrush I'm going to use, it's just going to be this very basic brush for very rough surfaces. I'm going to be trashing this brush. This is, you know, kind of a rough job. This is, you know, when you buy these paintbrushes, by the way, this plastic thing here, or if it's cardboard, you don't throw that away. It's called a keeper, to keep the form of the brush. So I've been using this paintbrush all along for all the rest of the work that I've been doing. I'm on my last section now. So you always put it back in here and let it sit, so this way it keeps its form. That's what the purpose of that is. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to let that set up and dry. I know it said paint ready in 30 minutes, but I am going to take a break right now anyways, so I'll come back to this in a few hours and get some primer on it. Okay, it's been a couple of hours, and I guess I could just snap my fingers and it would be painted. Oh, wait a minute, that's Hollywood trickery. Next step that I want to do is I want to just quickly sand down this with a pole sander and then get some primer on it. So here we go. Alright, so you see how I got it? See if the camera gets us in focus. But I'm getting it all the way underneath the drip edge. So you can see where I did not do. That's just the caulking, unpainted yet. And then over here is the painted edge. So basically, I'm just going to continue this technique the whole way through. 1 coat of primer, the whole thing. And I'm going to do it right now. Here we are, painted with 1 coat of the primer, and with my particular primer that I used, it said recoat in 1 hour. So this is how well everything looks with just 1 coat of primer. It actually does, you know, not bad for 1 thin coat of primer. So, and I got under here all the way through really, really well. So everything is like 100% sealed very well. So with my primer, Kilt's 2 tells you right here when you read the directions, if this thing will pick it up. Recoat in 1 hour, it says right there. Okay, so while we're waiting on that, we can prep our gutter, which is sitting over there on the ground. Here's the 5-inch hangers. I ordered these at the Home Depot. These are hidden hangers. They'll go underneath. I'm going to space them every 3 feet. I also got this product here, which is silicone gutter sealant and adhesive, so I can make sure that the inside of the gutter is ready to go. So the first thing I want to do is I got my tape measure, go over there and mark off every 3 feet so I can get the hangers installed at the right location. Okay, now I'm just going to go around the gutter, and any place that there's a little bit of a hole or whatever, like that one back here, I want to make sure I get that real good and seal all that up. Alright, the gutter is just, the sealant is on there. I'm just going to let that sit. And now I can go back to this. It's been an hour, and I'm going to go ahead and give that a coat of white paint right now. and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, the second coat of paint is up, sun's going down. That's it for today. We'll come back and revisit this tomorrow. Alright, we're back the next day. The sun has just come out, so it's basically right at the crack of dawn. There's a little bit of a dew that built up last night there, but I checked the work surface over here where I want to put the paint on, and everything is nice and dry, so we're good to go there. And so here, without the sun blaring at you, you can kind of see how well one coat of primer and one coat of paint looks across this. So this is looking pretty good, and I got my paint, which is right here, and getting ready to put that on right now. Exterior semi. Alright, the second coat of paint is on. That's number 2, and so now we're going to give it 2 hours. While we're waiting for that, I'm just going to put my hangers on the... Alright, so as you can see, I've already put down all the gutters where I put those black marks yesterday, which is pretty much every 3 feet. I left one out so I can show you how it's done. Let me just do a little zoom in right here and show you what that looks like. So basically what you do is you just take the hanger, and this lip comes under here, and you fold it back right where you want to put it, and sometimes you just need to pull that. And then when you drive the screw in, it'll go in. Found somebody over here. What are you doing, buddy? Alright, we'll leave him alone. Alright, so the gutter is ready to be installed. It's already has all the gutter sealant on it, and all the hangers are in place. Now we just have to wait for the paint to dry. Alright, so while I'm waiting for this paint to dry, I just did a little bit of house cleaning just to get some things cleaned up there. Put the tarp away. I also worked on the drain line where I finished off this tail piece where it drains directly into there, and then resecured it to the wall. I had to drop down this piece right here just a little bit, so that's why you can see a little bit of paint discoloration on the supports right there, because I had to drop it slightly just to make a good fitting into there. And that's it. Wait for this to dry so I can get it up. Okay, we're at the final stage to wrap this thing up. It's hotter than hell out here right now, so let's get to it. First thing that we want to do is I've put up a nail way up there at the drip edge, right there at the top edge of the drip edge, and I got my chalk line hanging from it. I'm going to string that chalk line across here right now, and then we're going to go ahead and measure it up. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to first of all establish what level is. So I want to verify exactly what a level line represents here. So I bring my chalk line out here, hold my level, and verify exactly what level is. So I'm just going to hold that up here, check my bubble, and I want a slight down pitch. First I want to establish what level is. Alright, so level okay, right there is level. Right where that line is right now is level. And that's the reason why I string a chalk line, because I don't want to use the drip edge. There I'm at the edge. Here I'm down from the edge. The roof is not level. This line here is level, but I want to be slightly pitched, a little bit below level. So I'm going to put my finger about an inch lower, go right there. Basically, that's where I want my top of my drip edge to be, but because this is only so big, it's probably going to be bottomed out right here. So my next step is to put up my support so I can put the actual gutter up. So let me wrap up this chalk line.